And just close your eyes for a moment. And take a big inhale through your nose. Exhale out your mouth. One more like that. Big inhale through your nose. And exhale out your mouth. Awesome. And flutter open your eyes. Awesome. All right, so let's start with some sun salutation arms. So inhale, lift your arms up over your head. Exhale, sweep your arms back down. Awesome. Inhale, sweep your arms back up. Exhale, take your arms back down. Inhale, this time, sweep your arms back up. Exhale, take your left hand to your right leg and then your right hand behind you and take a gentle twist. Stay here for a second. Inhale, lift your chest a little bit higher. And exhale, spin your right shoulder behind you a little bit more. One more. Big inhale, lift up a little bit taller through your sternum. Exhale, twist. Inhale, sweep your arms back to center. So center your torso, lift your arms. Exhale, right hand to your left knee, left hand behind you. Inhale, sit up a little bit taller. Exhale, twist over to your left. Again, inhale, sit up a little bit taller. Exhale to your left. One more time, sit up a little bit taller. And exhale to your left. Awesome. And come back to center. So if you want, stand up. You don't have to. You don't have to do anything, really, if you don't want to. But if you want, stand up. All right. So let's face this side. Hi, how are you? Lovely to meet you.
Hello.
Very good. So face this side of the room. Bring your hands up onto your hips. And go ahead and step your left foot as far back as feels comfortable. So a nice long stance. Yeah. And stay on the ball of your back left foot. Take your right hip back and your left hip forward and sink down a little bit deeper. Nice. Inhale, lift your arms up. And then see how your low back feels. If it feels okay, bend your back knee and draw your tailbone towards your back heel, lifting your pelvis up a little bit. Sit down a little bit deeper. And then inhale, lift your chest and look up at the sky. Take a big inhale here. Exhale, interlace the hands behind your back. Draw your shoulder blades together, fists move towards your tail, and then lift your heart up just a little bit more. Big inhale. And exhale. One more big inhale. Exhale, free your arms up to the sky. Plant your back heel down about 10 degrees and open up warrior two. Draw your tail towards your heels. Take your gaze over your right middle finger. Take a big inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Spin your right palm to the sky. Draw your right fingertips forward. And exhale, take it all the way back. I'm reading my note as I do my peaceful warrior here. Big inhale. And exhale. One more big inhale. And exhale. Just pause in your warrior two for a moment. How do I pronounce your last name?
Critchely.
Critchely. I'd like to introduce our philosopher and instructor, Simon Critchely. He'll be speaking while I do the yoga. Is that correct?
Oh, when you're all finished.
Oh, when I'm all finished.
Yeah, just
so you know. So stay in your peaceful, guys.
Just do your...
All right, awesome. Take your right ribs back. Expand through those right ribs. Big inhale. Exhale, take your right forearm down on the top of your right thigh, palm face up like you're holding a tray. And then just spin your left arm all the way up to the sky. Big inhale. Nice job, guys. And exhale. Inhale, lift more strongly up through your left fingertips. Spin your right ribs under. Draw your belly towards your spine and inhale, come back up, warrior two. Awesome. 2 breaths here. Big inhale. And big exhale. Hands on your hips. And then just heel toe your feet a little closer together. And we'll come to Tadasana, mountain pose. So both feet together, arms by your sides. Close your eyes again. And just take in the energy of this awesome event. So you can hear people around you. You can sort of feel the frenetic energy. And allow yourself to just be here for a moment. And then go ahead and flutter open your eyes. Let's face the left side. So hands on your hips, facing the left side. Staying on your left foot, step your right foot back. You can stay on the ball of your foot, so a modified warrior one here. Bend your back knee, especially if you're kind of tight in your lower back, and draw your left hip back and your right hip forward just a bit. Exhale, extend your tail down towards your heels and lift your pelvis up. And then inhale, lift your arms up over your head. Expand through your ribs. Root down and rise up through your chest. Big inhale.
How long have I got?
And exhale.
How long have I got?
Big inhale here. Everything stays the same on the bottom. Now exhale, interlace your hands behind your back. Draw your shoulder blades a little bit closer together.
So how long
and then
have I got?
take your fist down towards your right heel. Lift your chest. Big inhale.
So you can go a couple times.
And exhale. You should feel this stretch kind of in the front of your right thigh, maybe in your low belly.
I just spoke when she finished.
One more big inhale.
Lying down.
Exhale, free your arms. And you're going to go ahead and spin your right heel to the floor like about 10 degrees and open up your chest, warrior two. You might need to shimmy that right foot further back. Yeah. And then take a look over your left middle finger. Heavy your tail. Big inhale. Focus your gaze over your left middle finger with a nice soft focus.
Do it that way?
Yeah, I'd rather do that, yeah.
Exhale.
I mean, that would be easy.
So how long?
Inhale.
Don't know, how long have I got? It depends.
You're the boss.
And exhale. Spin your left palm to the sky. Inhale, reach your fingertips forward and then arc your chest.
Fine, yeah.
Peaceful warrior.
Yeah,
Left ribs expand. Your right hand can just sort of rest on your right thigh. Keep reaching up as you reach back, drawing your left knee forward. And then exhale, you'll take your left forearm onto your left thigh, palm face up like you're holding a tray. Right hand for today can come just right up to the sky. Root down through your feet and lengthen your spine a little bit forward. And then exhale, spin your left ribs under and your right ribs up. 2 breaths like this. Inhale, expanding through the crown of your head, through both of your feet and your fingers. Exhale, turning that right rib beautifully up to the sky. One more big inhale. Draw your belly to spine and then gently come up, warrior two. Really nice. Hands on your hips and just shimmy your feet closer together. Just nice and easy. Gorgeous. And then face me, I guess. Yeah. And then we're going to make our way to the floor. So we'll do a little sun salutation to the floor, okay? Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, halfway fold. Bring your hands to your thighs or to your shins. Inhale, half lift. Lift your chest, roll your shoulders onto your back. You can bend your knees if this feels uncomfortable. And then exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands. Yeah. And then just come to sit down. Make it really easy. Awesome. So find a seat, including a chair that's comfortable. We'll take a couple more seated poses. So if you're in a chair, you can take your right leg. I'm going to pantomime being in a chair for a moment. If you're in a chair, you can take your right leg over your left like you do sometimes. Yeah. And you're going to firm your right thigh to the floor as you keep your right foot flexed. If you're seated on the floor, you have a couple options. You can lengthen your left leg out and do the same thing. Right ankle over the left knee. If you're very flexible in your hips, if yoga is your jam a lot of the time, feel free to take left shin under, but this is kind of taxing on the body sometimes, so feel free to take this one, all right? So wherever you are, root down, either through the tops of your thighs or the floor. Again, keep the right foot flexed and firm the right thigh to the floor. Sit up nice and tall, roll your shoulders onto your back. And then you're going to imagine that you're hinging at the hips as you pull your heart gently forward. Take your hands down. Maybe you just stay here and you drop your chin towards your chest. Or maybe you keep spinning your shoulder blades on your back as you reach the heart forward. And then exhale, gently drop the chin towards the chest. Keep the left foot flexed as well, up to the sky if you're seated, yeah? Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more big inhale. And exhale. Come on back up. We'll switch legs. So take your right leg long. Take your left ankle over your right knee if you're in a chair on the floor. Keep this foot flexed and heavy this left thigh towards the floor, right toes up to the sky if you're on the floor. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Roll your shoulders onto your back. So it's like a nice proud chest. Hinging at the hips, start to lengthen the heart forward, crawling your fingertips down. Just feel for that sensation in your outer left thigh. Keep reaching the heart forward. Drop your chin towards your chest, and then just breathe wherever you are. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more big breath. And exhale. Really nice. Lengthen both legs out in front. If you're in a chair, you can just fold over your legs. Lift up. See how this feels. If your back starts to feel like it's going to slouch, you can bring your hands behind you to support you. Otherwise, lift up, whether your fingertips are on the floor or up to the sky. Imagine you're going to take your ribs so far up that you can pin them further down your legs. So keep reaching, 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 reaching forward. And when you're like, I can't go any further than this, bring your hands down to your legs or the floor. And then same as we did when we were standing, draw your heart forward, shoulders onto your back, and then exhale, drop your chin towards your chest. Paschimottanasana, big inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. 2 more breaths on your own. And then come back up to sit. So cross your legs, or any seat that's going to be comfortable for you to sit. Probably legs lengthened is not there. We'll do a couple heart openers. So lengthen your arms out. Be mindful of your neighbor. And then exhale, you're going to spin your right arm underneath your left arm. And then either the backs of the hands are going to come together, or you can take your right hand to the palm of your left. Yeah, this is a tricky one. Garudasana, eagle arms. So thumbs towards your nose. And then inhale, slide the thumbs up towards your forehead. Exhale, round the spine, feel the shoulder blades come off your back. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale, lift your heart. Imagine right underneath your breast line, lifting up to the sky. Exhale, free your arms. If you're like me, you might have lost some feelings, so go ahead, shake it out. And then we'll take the other side. So inhale, your arms wide. Exhale, this time, left arm underneath right. Either backs of the hands or left hand doubles back to grab the right palm of the hand. Turn your thumbs toward your nose. Inhale, lift the thumbs up towards your forehead. You can let your chest arc a bit. And then right underneath your breast line, exhale, round. Feel the shoulder blades draw off your back. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, round your spine. One more round like that. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, round your spine. Gently come up under your arms. Shake them out if that feels good. Now, if you're in the chair and you want to stay there, you'll just reach back and lift your chest for this one. If you're on the floor, here's our big finish, all right? So bring the soles of the feet flat against the mat. Your hands facing your buttocks about a foot behind you. And make sure your heels are close enough to your butt that you can easily press up, but not too close that you're having trouble, okay? You're going to inhale, lift up your pelvis, drawing your kneecaps forward and your heart back. If you have any kind of neck stuff, do not drop your head. Just keep the gaze forward. Keep reaching your kneecaps forward and your heart back. Take a big breath through the front of the shoulders. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Lift your toes, come onto your heels. Take your buttocks behind you and pike, lift. Oh, yeah. And then exhale, sit down. Gorgeous. Thank you. Go ahead, sit down. You did really good. You were really giving it your all there. Inhale, lift your arms, almost done. And exhale, fold forward one more time. Inhale, reach your chest forward. Exhale, fold down. One more time. Inhale, reach your chest forward. Exhale, fold down. Really nice. Inhale, come on back up. And if you feel comfortable, go ahead, lay down on your back on the marble floor. They did a mop right before I watched, so go ahead, lay down. We had a spill, it was lucky, and we wiped the floor, yeah. And then draw your knees into your chest, right? And kind of roll a little bit on your sacrum, so do a little rolling on your lower back. And take your knees all the way over to the left, tee your arms out, and take your gaze over to the right. If your right thigh is lifting up, you can take your left hand down and root it down. Inhale, lengthening. As you exhale, twist. 2 more breaths. Inhale. And exhale. 1 more big inhale. And exhale. Knees back to center. Take the knees all the way over to the right. Gaze over to the left. Right hand down on the top of your thigh to root it down. Take your gaze over the left shoulder as you twist over to the right. Big inhale. Big exhale. 2 more breaths. Inhale. And exhale. 1 more big inhale. And exhale. Come back to center. And then go ahead and lay down on your back if you feel comfortable. If you don't feel comfortable, just have a seat with your eyes closed. So lay on back. So in yoga, Shavasana means corpse pose, and it's your little death, so to speak. And in the yoga practice, often we start with sun salutation, which is the arms we did in the beginning, which is the birth. And the end, corpse pose, is the death. And so when you take even the tiniest little yoga practice, you're celebrating a whole life cycle, birth to death. And the way that I like to think about it is this is your good time to have your do-over. Any regrets that you have, any things you might want to do over, this is your rebirth. This is your little death. So take a moment here. And totally without judgment, just think about what you'd like to leave with you in this little incarnation right here that you don't need to bring with you in the next. Tense your hands. Tense your arms. Tense your thighs. Tense your belly. Tense your calves. Tense your feet. Scrunch up your face. And then exhale, let everything go. Allow yourself to fully relax. Take in all the sounds that you hear right now, the chaos of the room. And allow yourself to take in all the sounds, all the chaos, and soften into them. Allow your body to heavy itself into the floor or into your chair. Know that you have thoughts, but you are not your thoughts. That you have emotions, but you are not your emotions. A few more breaths here. Again, allowing whatever is no longer suiting you to be left here on this floor. And then very gently start to bring a little bit of movement into your fingers. A little movement into your toes. Maybe very gently lull your head from side to side. And then if you're on your back, draw your knees up to the skies, soles of the feet to the floor, and allow yourself to roll over onto one side to a fetal position. And then gently press yourself up to a seat and reclose your eyes. Take a moment to celebrate this new reincarnation of you. Wiser from your previous incarnation. Celebrating the newness of this. Inhale, lift your arms up over your head, expand through your ribs. Exhale, draw your hands to your chest. And take a moment and bow down towards your prayer. And just honor this amazing body that you have that allows you to do all the things every day that you do. And bow down to honor your practice. Namaste. Thanks for practicing a little mini wake-up practice or relax practice. And now we have Simon Critchely is going to present some material for you. So thank you very much, guys.
Okay. Hello. Jesus, it's noisy in here, isn't it? Can we, there's people up here speaking. You shut up. Okay, well, talk amongst yourselves. I have some very, very, very bad news. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are going to die, not reincarnated. Sooner or later, some of you, sooner or later, hopefully later, you will die. No matter how much yoga you do, no matter how much Deepak Chopra you read, no matter how much Greek yogurt you eat, or how often you see your personal trainer and life coach. What's that got to do with philosophy? Philosophy is learning how to die. It's not bullshit reincarnation. It's not eternity. You've not been here before, and you're not going anywhere after this. This is it. So, if philosophy is learning how to die, how did philosophers die? Let me list the ways. Pythagoras allowed himself to be slaughtered rather than cross a field of beans. Heraclitus suffocated in cow dung. Plato died of a lice infestation. Aristotle is reported to have killed himself with aconite. Empedocles plunged into Mount Etna in the hope of becoming a god. It didn't work. Diogenes died by holding his breath. You could try it now. That didn't work either. Zeno of Elea died heroically by biting a tyrant's ear until he was stabbed to death. Lucretius is alleged to have killed himself after having been driven mad by taking a love potion, like a Roman Viagra. Hypatia of Alexandria, the greatest female philosopher of the ancient world, was killed by a mob of angry Christians, and her skin was peeled off with oyster shells. Always watch out for crowds of angry Christians. They will peel off your skin with oyster shells. Boethius was cruelly tortured after being bludgeoned to death by the King Theodoric. John Scotus Erugena, the great Irish philosopher, was allegedly stabbed to death by his English students. Avicenna, Ibn Sina, died of an opium overdose after engaging much too vigorously in sexual activity. Aquinas died 25 miles from his birthplace after banging his head against the bough of a tree. Pico de la Mirandola was poisoned by his secretary. William of Ockham died of the Black Death. Thomas More was beheaded and his head was stuck on a pike on London Bridge. And under that bridge where his head was stuck on a pike, his daughter passed in a carriage and said, "Would that that head would fall down into my lap now." And it did. It fell down into her lap. She took it back to her house in Chelsea and buried her father's head. It's a happy story. Giordano Bruno was gagged and burnt alive at the stake by the Inquisition. Galileo narrowly escaped the same fate. Francis Bacon died after stuffing a chicken with snow in the streets of London to test the effects of refrigeration. This is called death by empiricism. Descartes died of pneumonia as a consequence of giving early morning tutorials to the prodigious and cross-dressing Queen Christina of Sweden. Spinoza died in his rented rooms at The Hague while everyone else was at church. Merleau-Ponty was allegedly discovered dead in his office with his face in a book by Descartes. Be careful when you're reading Descartes. Roland Barthes was hit by a dry cleaning van after meeting with the future French Minister of Culture. A.J. Ayer, Freddie Ayer, Tottenham Hotspur fan, had a near-death experience when he reportedly met the Masters of the Universe after choking on a piece of salmon. Gilles Deleuze. You'll like this one. I'm going to get some water. Let's take that. Gilles Deleuze. Defenestrated himself from his Paris apartment while possibly listening to David Bowie. Just think about it. The world is shit, right? The world arguably was shit before, but it's really shit now. Why? Because David Bowie's dead. It's the only reason. It explains absolutely everything. So he defenestrated himself in order to escape the awful sufferings of emphysema. Derrida died of pancreatic cancer at the same age as his father, who died of the same disease. My teacher, Dominique Janicot, died alone on a beach in August 2002, close to the foot of the Chemin Nietzsche outside Nice in France, after suffering a heart attack while swimming. Death is close and getting closer all the time. Funny, isn't it? What can you learn from this list of morbidity? What can you learn from this? Michel de Montaigne, the 16th century French essayist, the inventor of the genre of the essay, says that he developed the habit of keeping death constantly in his mouth. Keeping death in his mouth, in the food he ate and the drink he imbibed, the words he spoke, even the kisses he gave and received. So my advice to you is keep death in your mouth like a sucking stone or a bean or a small uncooked potato. But he completes this thought by saying that to philosophize is to learn how to die, and to learn how to die is to learn how to live. And he who has learned how to die, or she who has learned how to die, has unlearned how to be a slave. The person who has learned how to die has unlearned how to be a slave. And this is the thought. And this is the thought that philosophy offers. It's got nothing to do with reincarnation or past lives or what's going to happen next. That's not going to happen. And furthermore, that's the worst possible thought. You have to keep death in your mouth, in your minds. And slavery is slavery to the fear of death. What philosophy can teach, and this is the paradox, the freedom that philosophy can teach is the freedom that comes from accepting your necessity, your determination by necessity, your mortality. And if you can do that, then you become a philosopher. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, say hello to Mr. Death. He's sitting at the back of the room, drinking quietly a nice glass of red Burgundy, the color of your blood. He's been talking to your friends. And Mr. Death, too, is your friend. His friendship is what enables you to live and to live freely, joyously, gorgeously, and honestly. To deny death and flee into some belief into the afterlife is to lose your freedom and to hate yourself. And I would urge you not to do that and do philosophy instead. Good night.